Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Reliant. Its continuing mission? To seek out new worlds, to defend all life and all civilizations, to boldly dare where no family has dared before.
Hi everyone and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. I have been excited for this Star Trek game all week, so I am going to hurry through some things and then hand back over to Greg. So we've got a Discord. Please head over there, and we also have chat rooms for each individual game or campaign, so you can go and find the Star Trek one over there. If you would like to get in a game, drop Scrat a DM on Twitter. We are completely full in our viewer games now until the end of the season. However, we have already started planning season 3, so still drop him a message. If you would like to support us, we have a Patreon, and there are also some free articles on there. One of them, I'm not sure if it's up yet, but if not, it's coming up very, very soon. One written by our very lovely Renee, and it's such a good read, and it is in particular about viewer games. We also have merch, which you can find on Redbubble, and we have some lovely sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm and Mageham Press. You can see links in the chat to their merch and also the games itself. Other than that, every 10 retweets and every 4 followers, we get like a data pack type thing. And I would like to say we have already hit 10 retweets, so thank you. I'm going to hand over to Greg.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I can't wait to get into what is a brand new session, a brand new episode, if you will. If we're taking this as a season of Star Trek The Next Generation or Deep Space Nine or Voyager, then this would be our episode 2 after we got through the first session and adventure last week. But you really don't have to go backwards to go forwards too much. But I will tell you this, in totality, in the last session or episode of Star Trek Perfection Shadow, the crew was able to figure out the cause for a strange tachyon disturbance in the Carina system. And so with that disturbance settled and Romulan involvement being noticed and acted upon and encountered, they found that the disturbance was actually an old Constitution-class Federation vessel, the USS Hamilton. Now, the Hamilton itself, upon being entered, had already been found and occupied by the Romulans. After several interesting scrapes with the Romulans, and a certain passenger riding along in Ensign Amat, we were able to witness the fantastic heroics of the crew as they not only were able to deactivate what was the Genesis device, but they were also able to escape the now collapsing Hamilton and get back to the USS Reliant by refiring the engines of the USS Hamilton, piloting it as it came apart, getting them close enough to dive into space and teleported and transported to safety aboard the USS Reliant. The Hamilton succumbed to its injuries. Its batteries were low and it was getting dark. And the Hamilton blew up at Carina 10. And with all of that said, the group was back safe. Takura, who had sustained an injury, was taken to Med Bay. Everyone was healed up. The events of this episode will take place roughly 2 weeks later. But before we begin the next episode, we'll remind everyone how the last episode ended. As Ensign Amat entered into her quarters, she was gifted with another voice, this voice of her friend that had previously identified themselves as Sproul, a doctor aboard the USS Hamilton that was in charge of the tachyon weapon that they were calling the Genesis device. But as Ensign Amat's prosthetic robotic arm moved upon its own accord and opened up her built-in wardrobe, there inside was the Genesis device. And her passenger explained that they were not Dr. Sproul, that they were in fact someone that had been a leader, a general, father. And upon that, he convinced himself and perhaps Amat that he was indeed her friend. And his name was Khan. And that is where we ended the last episode, with Amat and Khan, now seemingly buddies. As TK put it, Amat has become a space warlock, patron in tow. And so that's where we end. And we will see Amat later, but not right now. Amat is behind the controls of the USS Reliant. What we are going to do to start is our mechanic for the Modiphius Star Trek system. We've been adding one every week. We are going to add what is called reputation. Now, reputation is usually built upon the entire group, how the entire group handled something, either positively or negatively affects your reputation. What we're going to do is I'm going to ask just a few questions of each of the crew members that we have right now. These reputation points that they earn will either help them or hurt them in social settings, either aboard ship or on an away mission. We'll see exactly how well they do. Once again, I'll remind everybody, if you think I'm going too easy on them, look straight down and you can Kobayashi Maru this episode at any point. As Hawkeye proved 2 episodes ago, you can also command your own starship with the Child of the Star donation. And of course, if Q is brought into play, we will take a break. You will give me 5 minutes to prepare. And when we come back, the current episode ends and Q's begins. But that's neither here nor there. Right now, we are sitting down in the ready room of Captain Yates, and he is individually interviewing each member of the away team. He will ask them similar questions. Of course, I don't assume that anybody is going to lie, since each of you have to write a report about the entire incident. But he wants to see how each of you respond to his questions. I will make note of them, and then we will proceed with the mission proper. And so first up is Takora. Takora, as you sit across from Captain Yates, as described before, a human male, him, tall, late 40s, early 50s, long homeward bounder beard, looking like Herman Melville in many respects. And as Yates looks at you, he asks a question. Did you resort to lethal force when you didn't have to?
No.
His eyebrow raises in a very Vulcan nature. You gave the order to drop the Romulan, did you not?
It was the only logical solution to a very difficult situation, Captain.
You don't believe there was any way to incapacitate her?
That would have been possible, I suppose. In hindsight, I must admit that. But at the time, we were acting under considerable pressure, Captain.
I agree. And so Yates reaches down and takes his cup of coffee, brings it up to his lips, and when he pulls it back down, Takora is gone and T is sitting in the seat. Doctor.
Yes?
Is there a way we could have prevented aggression, conflict, combat with the Romulans?
Oh, no, not at all. We even tried to talk to them and... yeah, they opened fire. I believe all the precautions were taken, and I believe the correct decision was made.
Okay. Thank you. I read the other reports. You acted bravely. Saw to the needs of Takura and Nat before your own safety. I know it's your job. I know it's your job. But your job is also to keep yourself safe on away missions. I know that you put yourself in peril. That is noticed by me.
Thank you
And
for noticing.
he stands up and looks outside of the long window that shows the stars whizzing by, and he turns back around and Nat is in the chair.
With arms crossed.
We could have had war, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
In your expert tactical opinion, was there any way to secure the Hamilton without force? It's
Yes.
reflective upon me.
Yes, is my answer, sir.
How?
Probably trying something like Kalara would have done. Using our words.
Off the record, do we need to do better?
It was a highly stressful situation, and
That is textbook. I don't want textbook. I want your response. I want the TAC officer that saved my life. Let me know, does this ship need to be better?
I think we have some work to do, yes, sir.
Good. I am recommending Ensign Amat for commendation above and beyond for their piloting of the Reliant and for the removal of the Romulans on the bridge of the Hamilton. Do you agree?
I don't formally disagree.
When did you start using your words, Lieutenant? You have
Recently.
permission. You have permission to speak freely. I'm not holding you to a standard, Nat, other than the one that you've set for yourself. Speak your mind.
They're talented. They're naive. They're not the best at following orders, but their improvisation probably saved some lives.
We'll go back to a prior question then. Do we need less or more of that improvisation to be better?
I don't know, sir. I think the Federation has a pretty tried and true method when it comes to protocol. I don't know.
Okay. As he turns back away from the window, T is back in the chair. I am recommending Ensign Amat for commendation above and beyond for the piloting of the Reliant and for their actions aboard the bridge of the USS Hamilton. You have permission to speak freely, Doctor. Do you agree or disagree with my decision?
Well, they certainly did a good job at piloting.
From the reports, they threw a piece of metal into the glass dome above the Hamilton and removed the Romulans from the firefight. That's what happened, correct?
That is correct.
You don't
That is
agree that that was above and beyond?
They did a good job.
There is a sigh behind the beard. Everyone's so politically correct. Go ahead and tell me what you think, Doctor.
They did a good job. They did exactly as it says in the report.
Thank you, Doctor. And as he brings the coffee cup back up to his lips and takes a drink, he pulls it down and Takora is back in the chair. Lieutenant Takora, I am recommending Ensign Amat be given a commendation for the piloting of the Reliance and their actions aboard the bridge of the USS Hamilton. I know that you were compromised for the bridge, but you have read the report where they used and he looks down at a pad, used a piece of metal to compromise the atmospheric integrity of the dome, sucking the Romulans out into space. Do you agree or disagree with my commendation appointment?
First of all, out of character, because I wasn't here last week. Is this what happened, guys?
Yes.
What do I need to know?
Well, technically, Nat and T don't know this, so they can't mention it.
Oh,
but
okay.
Khan took over Amat's arm and made the throw. So, but to everybody looking, Amat made the throw and...
Okay. I believe it is your prerogative to recommend as you see fit.
Let's try this. Is it logical for me to award a commendation to Ensign Amat for their piloting of the Reliance and their actions aboard the Hamilton?
It would be more logical to commend them if they knew how to follow orders, were less impulsive. But, Captain, as I have said, it is your prerogative. Certainly they might benefit from some encouragement. And commendation might be one way to do that.
Is it safe to say that if you were captain of the Reliant, Takora, you would not be awarding this commendation to Ensign Amat?
Ensign Amat has proven themselves to be an excellent pilot. But I do not believe that alone deserves such high reward.
Very good. That is all. And as the ready room is cleared for this series of interviews, these exit surveys, if you will, of our last episode, we begin our next episode, which, as I said, takes place roughly 2 weeks later aboard the Reliant. You are all approached and brought into this isn't the ready room, this is an actual strategy room. It's similar to a much Spartan, smaller version of what they have on the Enterprise. It is a roundtable discussion with vids and monitors up everywhere. And as you come in, over the course of the 2 weeks, you have learned the following as almost a result of your last adventure. The female Romulan that you captured and brought back to the Reliant was released back to the Star Empire. Her name was Subcommander Teleria. She gave the following information that was, let's say it passed the Betazoid test. She swears that her group did not attack the Reliant, that her warbird had nothing to do with the attack above Carina 7. You were attacked by a Romulan warbird. You all saw it. Takora saw it plain as day in space. But Teleria said that it was not her ship. Also, she was returned to the Romulans in exchange for their silence in the Genesis matter. Genesis is not viewed as a scientific exploration or a scientific advancement. It's viewed by the Galactic Society at large as a weapon. If it was fired onto a populated world, it would remap and remake that world using the genetic code housed within, wiping and destroying anything that was already there. That is the greatest weapon ever known. It is a tachyon weapon, and it's been outlawed by the universal community. The Romulans agreed that with the prisoner exchange and because of their involvement outside of the neutral zone, they would remain silent on the matter. They also said that Subcommander Detak was not retrieved by them. They have no idea where he is. They believe that he was on the Reliant, but obviously he is not now. The doctor, the hologram doctor, also discovered a residual powder or dust, a silica-based compound that is foreign yet benign to the Reliant. Hypothesis is that it was brought aboard by the Romulans that attacked. There's nothing to corroborate that hypothesis. The doctor is still taking it under advisement and looking into the matter, but it is, for all intents and purposes, powderized sandstone. No idea what that means. And finally, you have had no subspace communications allowed back to Starfleet for personal use, and no shore leave for anybody aboard Reliant. The Genesis problem is being thought about by Starfleet, and they don't want to have anything contaminated as far as news delineating to the general public until they have a measured response ready. Reliant is running silent. She is still on active duty, but it is something that is keeping her in space and keeping her away from the public eye. Finally, Acting Ensign Zane Knoll, because of his involvement in the Carina 7 problem, has remained aboard the USS Reliant. He is healing. The process cannot be, or at this point, the tachyon sickness hasn't been able to, there's no reversal for it. The other members of his establishment, of his village, were either already dead or killed when the Romulan base blew up. Now, the population at large across Carina 7 was saved. They have experienced less of the effect. It seems as if his village was the one that was kind of normally closest during the daytime to where the Hamilton was in Carina 10. So that they took the brunt of the tachyon interference. Probably why the Romulans had something to do with establishing their facility nearby. If you have any questions about that, you can ask, but that is the Yep.
I do. Okay, so we had figured out that the explosion of the Hamilton would not destroy the Genesis or the device, whatever it was, correct?
You determined that it wouldn't turn it on. It wasn't dynamite. It was, if you have an explosion beside dynamite, dynamite's going to blow up. You have an explosion beside a light bulb, the light bulb's not going to turn on, but it's going to be affected by the explosion.
So we assume, and I assume that we checked the area, we assume that it was destroyed.
Correct. In the scans that came from there, the tachyon radiation was already starting to alleviate. It was still kind of really soaked into the rock and ice around there, but not to the same type of radiating levels that reached all the way into the system, into Carina 7.
Okay, so cool. Got it. Sweet. That was my question.
And to answer your Zoom chat, Takora, you are acting first officer, and the captain has made it clear every time he says in public, acting first officer. So he has not promoted you fully. So,
Ship dad.
So what you're basically telling me is that there's still a way out.
I'm telling you, yeah, there's still a way. Okay, so here is your mission as you have heard it. And there are a lot of moving parts with this one, so I'm going to be reading a bit more than I do. I'm not going to read, but I'm going to be perusing my notes to make sure I have everything right as we're going through this. But here is the call that comes in, and Yates relates the following to you. In the a pre-warp solar system, there is the planet of Calmer, and Calmer is just on the brink of discovering interstellar travel. So with that in mind, several Federation officials had been monitoring the scene. It's kind of common practice to do this to make sure that a pre-warp society, obviously following the Prime Directive, grows on their own cultural and technological advances. But if there's going to be first contact, it's nice to be able to have somebody on the ground and ready whenever they go that knows the culture, is able to approach the group in the right way and make it less of a jarring impact when they realize they're not alone in the universe. And so what is a little bit odd is the current group actually had members of their party, Federation members, embedded in the society that they were monitoring. Embedded to the point where one of the members, a Dr. Ricardo Lee, was in the room during what was going to be a gravity well test by this Calamoran people, and he was killed. As whatever happened and whatever failure occurred by this device, and you would all know that a gravity well is a predecessor to warp technology. It is something that it can mimic the effects of a wormhole, a temporal disturbance, a warp field, the ability to even cloak at some point. Gravital and the use and manipulation of gravity is the very first step, and in many ways the last step. So they sent out a distress call saying that they had somebody die on planet disguised as one of these Calmorans, and now they don't know what to do because they need someone to get there. This society is advanced enough that if they begin testing even the residual biological and genetic material, Ricardo Lee might have looked like one of them, but on the inside, he definitely was not. And so that is your mission. The Reliant is going to go to Calmora. You are going to go down, investigate the loss of Lieutenant Lee, and you're also going to assess the methods and the morale of the observation team that is down there. The observation team is run by a Dr. Gurr, and as mentioned, this kind of embedded anthropology is not something that usually happens. So questions as you are cruising towards your next assignment.
Is there any record of why they were embedded in the society?
All records and transmissions from a pre-warp facility are usually batched and bundled and sent every 3 months. So any current records would be in the facility, the observation facility aboard the planet or on the planet. So you have full access and support of the Federation. When you land on this planet, you are in charge. Even though this doctor is the one that's in charge of the observation team, you are a Federation rescue and response team. You take control as soon as you get there.
So the decision to move within the society was made by someone on the planet. It wasn't their assignment, or it was?
It was not their assignment. Their assignment was to observe. Protocol suggests, and the Prime Directive being that, it helps to allow to sit back and watch and see if a culture is able to achieve spaceflight. If you have somebody on the ground monitoring all of that, it's great for historical purposes as well. But the primary reason for doing that is to get the people that are watching and observing a familiarity with the culture. They're able to approach in the proper way. They're able to identify customs, make the new first contact, the new now warp civilization, feel comfortable by using their own customs and handshakes and greetings and honorifics and things of that nature to make them feel appropriately calm in a very chaotic situation. But putting somebody actually in to watch or to potentially work on something that is going to make them a pre-warp to warp civilization, unheard of.
Is this Lieutenant Ricardo Lee human or otherwise?
Yates would respond, yeah, he is human. He was dressed though as one of these Calmorans. They have humanoid characteristics, but they have, let me show you. And he calls up a picture on the vid behind him, and you see a human-esque person with very thick golden hair and tanned skin. Other instances would have a metallic bronze swept back hair, darker skin. There are residual tufts of the hair on the back of the hands that match the same color as the hair on the head. It's differentiation between male and female is for the human eye or the humanoid eye is a bit difficult, but Captain Yates points out that there are almost like sideburns that are grown in for the females, and the males have a bit of almost like a fox look to their ears. So once you see that, you begin to differentiate between the genders of the culture as far as she, her, he, him go. And when you look around, it is then that you are going to have to decide if you are all going in, you will need to be made to look like the Calmorans.
Nat is visibly like shifting in her seat as she looks at images and like looking at T and like flaring her snout nostrils a little.
He's just like running her hands through her hair, like,
Well, that will be easier for some than for others.
You will know at this point that instead of prosthetics, which are obviously better for long-term exposure, there is also the use of single pack wearing holographics, and that's what people that are going to spend short term among a pre-warp culture use, if they're not going to be touched, because obviously you can't have photon-based holographics. It would require too much power, but this is light-based, so it makes you look like it, but if someone were to touch your beautiful mane of hair, their hands would go through instead of touching the fibers. And there's also ways, as we've seen in Star Trek The Next Generation, to be able to cosmetically rearrange someone if you want to go that route.
No.
So it is up to everyone. Of course, you're returned to your original appearance, but that's the question that I have. If someone wishes to be able to go among this pre-warp society, you will need to be disguised. If you need to be disguised, what route do you want to take?
Telepathically. Yes, because we do that. I say to T, I'm not going under the knife. Or whatever it is in Star Trek. No surgery.
I don't want to, but I'm a doctor. What if I have to, I don't know, make contact with someone?
Let's ask Takora to do it. She's the acting XO. Nat's totally taken to acting XO too. That's all she'll say.
Oh. And you can just literally feel the sort of panic setting in.
Nat starts randomly smiling for no reason. She's trying to sit on it though, because security officers don't smile, much like Klingons.
They're not allowed to. It's in the book.
Yeah.
Prime directive number 2: tactical officers cannot smile.
Cannot smile.
Officers. There we go.
I've never smiled in my life. I would recommend the hologram packs, at least for initial observations. If things start to go south, we should move and transport out when we are out of line of sight of any of the people on the planet.
We do not know if that would always be possible.
Right, you're so right, Lieutenant. Maybe you would like to go the surgical route as our acting XO.
This time T's trying not to smile.
I'm sure some kind of compromise can be made.
Mm-hmm. So just a hair change for you then.
If you are unhappy, Lieutenant.
I'm not. It was a genuine suggestion. I think you'd look really great as a blonde. That's about as charming as Neelan ever gets, as I have increased her presence to a big ol' 8.
Luckily, any changes would be reversible.
Of course. Of course.
And you would all know too that this is not a fly-by-night, let's give this a shot type. This is standard operating procedure for immersion into any society that is pre-war.
Yeah.
You have to be able to blend in. These are the options available to you. Obviously, you can't go into a non-humanoid colony if you are a humanoid member of the Federation. Certain, Klingons would have to go through extensive surgical procedures to make themselves, remove the ridging and things like that. But the closer you are to appearance-wise to the native species, the less you have to do. So,
I mean, we just have to wear a wig, right? And have some pretty
and cover your ears and your forehead.
Yeah,
you might even have to smile.
Yeah, Takora specifically would have to do something. The ears it'd be more prosthetics for Takora.
I'm not going to do like a Tuvok in Voyager when he was in the 90s and wore the do-rag. That was the best.
You don't have to. Oh, yeah, or Spock in The Voyage Home, where he was just he had the headband on the whole time.
Beautiful, beautiful. Takora is happy to go down the surgical route. She isn't all that bothered about appearance. So
mm-hmm. Nat's just very sensitive about one part of her appearance. That's all.
I'm sure that T could tell you, but Dr. H could tell you as well that the procedure would be painless. It would be done in seconds, and
don't care.
He would be more smartass about it, but I won't do that.
I don't want to talk to him.
What I think we'll do too is while everyone decides this, we are going to take a quick break and bring in our ensign.
Okay.
And then everybody decide what you would like to do as we bring in Ensign Amat. And so let's take a quick one, and everyone be thinking about if we want to make this worse, or I tell you what, anybody, if you want to talk to me directly on Twitter, go right ahead. You can always make recommendations. I have it open.
Oh my
We'll
God,
see you.
Greg.
Right back.
You just love pain and misery.
He's such an instigator. I say.
Hello, everyone, and we're back. We are joined again by Ensign Amat. Now, we have caught everybody up as to what the rest of the group has been doing in the 2 weeks since the end of our first episode and the beginning of our second episode, Heavy Meddle. So, Ensign Amat, here's what's been happening to them during this 2-week period. You have had several very heartwarming, very friend-filled conversations with Khan. He has been inquisitive, wants to know as much about you as he can, whatever you're willing to share. He has told you as well several things about the kind of adopted family that he had. Nothing really out of the ordinary or revelatory, but it's been a very pleasant. He hasn't asked to use your arm anymore. You haven't felt him take control of your arm anymore. He's, everybody said last episode that Satan took the wheel a couple times with you. If that's the case, Satan is in the back seat with Miss Daisy, not doing anything else. So
That's nice.
He remains silent unless you call for him. So keep that in mind whenever you're going in. And to bring you quickly up to speed, there is a pre-warp society that had Federation agents embedded to observe the pre-warp society. And for whatever reason, one of them was involved with the actual process, discovery, implementation of the experiment that would have made them a warp society, and was killed, murdered by the explosion that erupted from it. And we need to see exactly what is going on and why this person was inside this society to begin with.
Okay. This seems great. Everything seems fine. I was also, I assume, in contact with my doctor. Yeah. How's my doctor doing? Is she okay? Did she like my notes I sent her? Excellent.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad.
Also, TK, I know that you would like this. Chat has been hitting it out of the park with con-related puns. So
are they all Guillermo? Yeah, they're all Guillermo. I can see from here. Conversations, considerate.
Yeah. very considerate passenger. So everybody, sit back, keep them coming, as we are able to get ready to go. The final thing is this: to be able to get onto the planet and explore among the society, you have to be able to look like one of the people, the race that lives there. And so that would require, for the humanoids that we have, getting prosthetics or actually undergoing surgical procedures to alter your appearance, or to wear a holographic rig, which would make you look like one of them, but it wouldn't pass the touch test. So now all of you need to be able to decide what you'd like to do.
Hologram. I definitely don't foresee me having to touch anyone unless it's with my fists.
Okay. Hologram for Nat.
T's gonna have it like cosmetic, I reckon, because if she's the doctor, she's gonna be far more in contact with them than anyone else.
And there's certainly one member of our party who enjoys being in contact with everything.
It's true.
Nat gets a really weird smile on her face at that. She did not expect a joke. I know it wasn't a joke, but it was funny.
It's true. I'm gonna touch everything.
Okay.
Prosthetics.
Okay.
Amat doesn't care. Amat loves prosthetics.
And Takura.
Surgery.
I'll go surgery.
Okay, so prosthetics for Amat, and then the actual full, like, cosmetic approach for Takura and T, correct? And then hologram for Nat. Fantastic. All right, friends. Obviously, you're not going to be able to take a shuttle with you as you pull into a bit of a removed orbit from the planet of Kalmar. And you need to be able to stay back, because as you look, and if we're going to give this an Earth equivalent, we're right around our current time period, maybe 10 years in the future. So this would be similar technology-wise to Earth of 2030. So you're seeing a lot of advancements, a lot of being able to monitor relatively closely to their own planetoid. So the Reliant has to take a few precautions here upon approach, and she remains very far back. Shuttlecraft, it's not going to be possible. You're going to have to beam down directly to the facility that the Federation doctors are in. So as you are prepping to leave the Reliant, is there anything else, anyone else, or anything you need to talk to, or do?
Takura would like a moment to speak with the doctor. Away from the others. Do you have a moment, Doctor?
I do. Yes.
The procedure.
Yes.
You are confident that it is wholly reversible?
Yes, of course I am. Standard. Are you
Very well.
worried? Yeah, can I reach out? Can I sense anything at all?
Okay, we discussed before that with a Vulcan, it goes sort of like this. If everybody else is a fan blowing in your face emotions, you can happiness, they're pissed. With a Vulcan, it's somebody standing from about 10 feet away going. So you get like a hint from a Vulcan every once in a while. So I will leave it up to Ellie. Would Takura be as nervous or concerned, whatever is the most non-emotional descriptor we can use here, about this situation?
Yes. And so whereas, as Greg said, you might get that tiny little draft of emotion, You do get something from Takora, which is a little stronger than you might expect from a Vulcan. No, I'm not concerned. I simply wanted to know all the facts. Thank you, Doctor.
I'm nervous. It's not a bad thing. You tend to loosen up every now and then.
She just walks away.
Wow.
Good talk!
Nat is going to, since she's going to be leaving the ship, is totally going to make someone go down, add another person to engineer Scout's bodyguard retinue. Oh, shit.
Well, everybody, I know that we just took a break, but as Reaver has donated everything that we're talking about for heavy metal will be put on hold, as we will be back in 5 minutes for Q. I will. Yep, give me 5 minutes, everyone, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, friends. Everything that we've watched to this point is on hold, as we are now witness to the hijinks of the Q continuum. And so as all of you are getting ready for this away mission, this very heavy pre-warp society intrigue, the Reliant goes very still. You see that Willow Akano is working behind the transporter pad, frozen, not moving. Now the four of you have the ability to turn, look at one another, and as soon as you do, you realize that any holograms, prosthetics, surgery that you just went through has been reversed. You are all standing in your normal outfits, your uniforms. And you hear from behind you the hallway that leads to the med bay, that leads ultimately to the bridge. You people will never understand. Ever. First it was Picard. Problem, that one. And now, someone else has walked onto our lawn. And as you turn around, you see somebody dressed like me in ceremonial judge's robes. Who's the captain among you?
Nat looks for Yates. Is he moving?
Put your hand.
Is Yates moving?
Yates is frozen.
Okay, she kind of like closes her eyes and does not roll them and looks at, like, cocks her head at Takora as she like moves around and in front of everyone, just kind of in a ready position to put herself between whoever this is and the rest of the crew.
Identify yourself.
My name is Q. He begins to walk around. This is shabby. Nothing like, the Enterprise is shabby. This, I need another word. What would you call it? What's less than shabby?
Quaint. My mother used
Takora,
quaint all the time.
Like a look. How did you get aboard this vessel?
Dilapidated.
Quaint, though. I like its spelling. There's a whoosh, whoosh, and appearing in a bright flash directly behind Takora. I can go wherever I want. That's what being smart and powerful can get you. But why am I here is the question you should ask. Not how did I get here. It's wrong.
Why
Amat.
are you here?
Amat, in your mind you hear, be very careful. And for a moment, Q, why am I here? Because you kids are on my lawn. Our lawn. It's mine. You're on our lawn.
We are on nobody's lawn.
Like a metaphorical lawn, I think.
I'm well aware of the metaphor. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Sorry.
Mott pats Nat's shoulder and hands her a cheese cube.
Q, you say. We cannot have you simply wandering around our ship. You must reverse whatever you have done and leave.
No. And I can walk wherever I want. You're on my lawn. You drew first blood. Now I can be here and do whatever I'd like. Why are you the only four? Why are you the only four that reek of time?
Oh.
smell of it.
You
What
are
have you been
referring to the tachyons.
Yeah. Yes, the tachyons make them sound smart. It's time. I mean, not it's time. It's time, not tachyons. Time. Why have you been messing with time? That's my yard. You're on my lawn.
Lieutenant, I suggest that we restrain our guest until we find out what is happening.
Okay. Okay. Nat, having seen him blink, is just kind of like, look, would you consent to being restrained, sir?
No!
Ah,
But you may try.
it might be fun.
What this is?
I will let everyone make a. I will let everyone make a. Let's give it an insight, and this is going to be a security because Picard has met Q before, and there are records of Q in Starfleet.
Great, amazing. Sure, let's try it. Just one.
I think against Khan's better judgment, Amat's gonna try and go for a hug. Insight security. Bloop.
I mean, we have to like stop this guy wandering around our ship, right?
Yeah, no. He just blinked. So
Yeah.
Just like any
T is better at hugs.
Tiga's the best. Huggles.
Okay, so as you all, I don't know if you're all trying to like gang hug tackle, or I'm not sure how this is going to go.
no.
He's trying
what
to
he-
stick him with a sedative in the neck.
T,
Nat-
everybody else remembers Q. This is like a entity of importance. T, you've actually read the file,
Oh, I have.
and you had 2 successes. So you were able to read the file, and you gleaned the following information. Picard, on several occasions, the captain of the USS Enterprise, has encountered a otherworldly, almost godlike being that refers to himself as Q. The description of the current dress of Q matches the very first time he encountered this entity at Farpoint Station. And so you know that if this is in fact Q displaying these godlike powers of being able to freeze the Reliant, blink, from one place to another without the aid of a transporter, this is not someone that or something that can be sedated.
Okay, I was just checking if T knew.
Nat will try to put a hand on Amat if she sees them moving toward Q.
Amat will stop and just like look at Nat like, no, oh.
No. She kind of gives her like a friend. She gives them like a friendly squeeze on the shoulder, like.
As you all are kind of doing this subtle dance, Q has gone to the frozen Captain Yates and look. He's staring. Would I look good in a beard? No, not.
Would I look good in a beard?
I don't know why that happened. I am cute.
Yep.
Would I look good in a beard?
You-
And there's a whoosh, whoosh, and Q has a beard now. I do look good in a beard.
Amat
I
nods.
look fantastic.
Nat,
Covers up the weak chin.
that was technically a compliment.
It comes. It flashes. The beard's gone.
Oh, okay.
Is Q still standing by Yates?
Yes.
Okay, Nat moves that way now. Just kind of walking casual.
So were you all the ones that were closest to your tachyon device?
Yes.
Do you even know what you're doing? You don't. Humans never do. You're
Do
just...
any of us look human? Oh shit.
No, not right now.
Federation. Human stinks almost as much as the time stink. Always butting your nose, always walking on someone else's yard, not knowing the repercussions. Picard and his exploration, but this time, well, you see, that's sort of my jam. So, let me show you what you can do. And there's another flash. Nat,
What?
you are standing beside Captain Yates. This is a scene from maybe 6 months ago. You know that this is the day someone tries to take the captain's life. You recognize the scene, you recognize the setup, you recognize the position, you know where the gunman's coming from, you know the attack pattern, you know everything the second you arrive. And again, the seconds bleed slow, or maybe you're fast, as Q is standing beside you. Do you remember this place? Of course you do. This is one of those momentous moments.
Do you ask questions to get answers or just to hear yourself talk?
Just to hear myself talk.
Honest. I like honesty.
I am anything but honest. Wait, yes. So, why are you messing with time? Do you want to return here and do something different? Do you want to go someplace that makes you sad to make you happy?
No. I was perfectly content where I was.
Well, what if I told you that that man with the beard back on the Reliant, or forward on the Reliant, three-dimensional thought. What if I told you that I am going to stop you from saving his life?
Oh, the humor drains out of Nat's face. Could you not, though?
I can do whatever I want. That's the beauty of being me. But what if I stopped you? Would you feel compelled to correct what I had wronged? Would you feel compelled to wield this carrot on the stick, this time? Would that make you do it? To drink from the font of eternity?
Okay, I'm just gonna take a step back from you.
You start to see around you that the moments of the assassination attempt begin, but you feel compelled to stop for a moment as your legs aren't moving and you are being dragged out of security position. Uh-oh.
Stop.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Don't do this.
What do you think will happen to the beard? That would be the true shame.
She's trying to move back toward her position where she was.
Roll me a fitness and security.
Okay. Do we have momentum?
I believe so.
Okay, I'm gonna use some for an extra die. I don't get that.
You should have. Wait, we had a donation, so
Yeah,
in fact, you got. And because I'm feeling magnanimous, you have 6.
Yep.
Plus 4 to 10 total.
I'm gonna use a reroll because it was only 1 success, so I'm gonna use my reroll because.
Go right.
Nope. 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 What? Okay, so I have a new focus called Escape and Avoidance. Is that applicable here?
Absolutely, yes.
Cool. Yes. Okay, 3 total.
You feel your limbs begin to respond, and Q, in all of his pompous bragging, stops for a moment. Don't do that. And you feel your arms and legs lock again. And for a moment, I want you to... You have the ability to do this, but I'm going to need you to roll an insight, and I'm going to need you to roll a... How about a command here?
Yep, I can maybe do that. Cool. 1?
It's almost like looking at a star-filled sky and having the astronomy background to point above the horizon and say, with the naked eye, you see that red star? It's that type of needle in the haystack moment for you, Nat, because of the complexity and the difference that you're feeling from Q. But for a second, you think you caught surprise when you started to move. No, you can't move. You can't affect change. You're going to watch your captain die, Nat. And when he dies, what would be different about Lieutenant Neelan? Will she be obsessed with righting the wrongs? Will she proceed down this path? Or will saving the captain as you did before prevent you from exploring this in the future? These are questions I can, but I want you to answer them, Nat. What will make you stop your pursuit of time?
I'm not pursuing time. I was just in the wrong place.
At the wrong time. Why do you think when I froze your ship, the 4 of you were the only ones that were moving? Hold that thought, and you whoosh, and everything around you freezes as you yourself freeze. T. We are in a hospital room. You see... Who do you see in the bed?
How long ago is this?
It is the patient.
She probably, if I'm reading this right, sees her mother.
Correct. And if this is the end of your mother's life, how old would T be?
Wow, mother's gone.
She's about 5-6 years old.
And what is happening to T's mother?
T doesn't understand it. She's just wasting away and getting weaker and weaker. And no one really understands exactly what it is. Even T herself, she's only 6, but she's been trying to read every single book she can.
T, you, as you are now grown, are standing and observing this in a very Dickinson style. And Q is beside you. Look at her. This is heartbreaking. Reading books, trying to save her dying mother.
What is
You know
this?
you could save her. But you know what this is. This is your mother. She's dying.
She's dead. What are you doing?
She's not dead yet. Go ahead and touch her.
No. This isn't a thing. This isn't real. You can see she's getting upset, but she's like, this isn't real. This is a weird illusion, whatever it is. Just, it's not real. This is done. This is in the past.
The past is so... Oh, we need to add some more dimensions to your thought, my dear. Let's watch, shall we? And he goes to thread his arm through yours as if you're going to walk into some regal dinner. Do you allow Q to do it?
She probably flinches slightly, but she does let him. And will hold on to it very tight.
Pat your arm. Watch, this is going to be good. And you see your mother's doctor come in. As you remembered, human, she, her, comes in, and a member of, it looks like a Federation Starfleet, probably, the medical academy. There's a bearing about it, probably private practice at this point. Comes forward, has a hypo, and just kind of smooth back your mom's hair a bit, and puts it into her neck, and you see your mom relax a bit, but the sedation isn't working as it did. The disease is winning. But then you see something that you don't remember, T, as you're poring over your books, trying to figure out something that no 6 or 7 year old brain can wrap around, that not even the greatest minds in the Federation or the universe have found a cure for. And you feel Q kind of pull your arm a bit. Now watch this part. And you see the doctor come forward, kneels down, smooths your hair out a bit. Oh my dear. Oh my dear. And you see her reach into her pocket and pull out another hypo. She presses it against the back of your neck. Shh. That'll make you feel better. Then she gets up, straightens her white jacket, and walks out. And just as the door opens, everything freezes. Doctor, little girl, your mom, and Q pulls you until you're face to face with him. Now, what do you think that was all about? Was she sedating you? Should we go back and look and see what's in the hypo? Let's go back. And you see everything back up. The doctor kneels down, and you see the hypo pulling away, and Q snaps his fingers, and everything freezes. I wonder what's in that hypo. I'm going to bet that it's not, I already know. I'm going to bet that it's not sedation or any type of medicinal purpose. What's your guess?
And she can't help but glance down at it. And do you get a kick out of this? Is that what this is?
I do.
You need a new...
I mean, I am merely a guide. I do. Do you want to see? Let's see. Let's look together. And he kneels down, his robes dusting the floor. Since we have 20 retweets, one of the knowledge data packs is something I wasn't going to give, but will give now. T, as you look down, you realize that it doesn't appear to be a hypo that would contain any type of like pharmaceutical or any type of potential herbal remedy, anything that would carry an inoculation. You've known these. It's an older model, but you definitely have seen these type of hypos before. This is genetic. What do you think that could mean? He looks up from his position.
And I think she's clocked it, but she's not saying anything at all. She's just shaking her head, just...
Well, I tell you what, let's explore, shall we? And he snaps his hands and makes a diving motion. And the next thing you know, T, you are in the space between atoms as you see helixes flying everywhere. Here we are. We're inside the hypo. What do you see? Look at all of this.
How are you doing this all the time? And why? Why are you doing this?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
No,
Simple.
it's not. It's not. It's horrible.
I'm helping you. Inconsiderate. The Federation. Always so mean.
I'm not mean. Like, it just sort of actually takes offense to that.
You're mean.
You're mean.
I thought Picard was mean. No, it's you. You're mean. Mean doctor. It's the worst thing. Goodness, I don't need one. But look around. I'm going over here to pout. See if you see anything.
And she sort of tries to scowl, but she's not good at scowling anyway, so she just starts to look around.
Roll me a reason and medicine as you look around.
Can I use any of my focuses?
What do you have?
I have viruses, mutations, infectious diseases. Trusting your instincts and studying practical experiences.
Trusting your instincts and mutations.
Okay, so 3D. Hang on, 4D, 4D, 20. Oh, I think I've rolled it wrong.
4 successes. So as Q goes over and pouts audibly, you can hear him just like off to the right. As you look around and you begin to see these sequences as they pop up, it's impossible to be able to figure out exactly what code means what. But somehow as you're looking around, there is a characteristic of this code that it's odd. You're not sure exactly how to put it, but you don't see any type of... There's no waste. Everything seems to have a purpose. Everything seems to be perfect.
And she's just stood there taking in this information. Are you done pouting? Can I go back now?
I am done pouting, but I have a question to ask you. And this one, other person said I just asked them to hear them, which I do, but this one I need an answer. If you continue along your path, mean doctor, and you are given the choice to come back to this point with the knowledge that you have and save your mother, will you?
My past makes me who I am today. I've dealt with the past. It's done.
You didn't answer my question.
It's the answer I'm giving you.
Do you want to be who you are today? Who would that little girl have been if that poor woman, he points to the bed, had been there? Maybe you'd be better.
Maybe I'd be weaker.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to.
I am going to pout again. And he turns around and everything flashes. And we are in another room, another hospital room, but this one, where the other one with T's mother was quiet, orderly, the end of a life, this one is in the effort to having very recently been deployed to save one. Amat, you are in the bed. You are lying there. You have no memory of how you arrived in this state. And by state, I will simply ask, after your last mission, the one that you had before you came to Reliant, in what state would you be lying in this bed?
When the rescue team found Amat was missing their left arm up to the shoulder, and both hips were broken, both knees were shattered, 3 of their ribs were broken, and their right arm was broken as well at the wrist.
Okay, so with those wounds, terrible that they are, what was her mindset? What was their mindset? Is this the same Amat that we've seen?
Amat was very excited to go on their first mission, but now they're just scared that their mom is going to make them come home. And also, they'd like to know where their arm is.
So as this is surrounding everyone, and as the doctors have rushed in, you're stabilized now. You have been moved from surgery to this, a recovery room. And as you are in this bed, trying desperately to make sense of where your arm is, there's a shock sequence to all of this, Amat. And you realize that you are looking at yourself. And Q is standing beside you. In all seriousness, this is one of the worst things I've seen. I'm sorry you had to go through it.
I had no idea it was this short. Am I really this short?
You are.
Oh.
It's endearing, though.
Oh, thank you.
And you see him, he snaps his fingers, and subtly you see him sink until he is the same height as Amat. Now.
That's nice.
You're the one I like the most. The rest of them, Dr. Mean. The one in the gold shirt. Sassy. But here, comes and goes with me. Sometimes, yes, but most times, no.
Maybe it's because you're so sassy, too. It's a sass clash.
I like the way you think.
Thanks.
Elevated beyond the Federation.
Oh.
Let me ask you a question, Amat.
Okay.
This is terrible. Awful. If given the opportunity to go back and make this not happen, and make everything else that happened to your away team not happen, would you do it? Would you change the past, or simply stop the future? We're getting into higher levels of time thought. I knew I liked you best.
Amat thinks for a moment, but then does a very conscious effort to stop thinking. And so I don't know if Q has the power to pick something like that up, but if he does, he would notice that there was an intense thought for a moment and then total blankness, or an effort towards total blankness, as Amat sort of drums their prosthetic hand against their more what is the word I'm looking for? Organic palm, and kind of like looks at the metal knuckles. I like who I am. And
I like it.
I don't think that it's my business to choose whether or not the away team lives or dies after the fact. You can only do what you can do at the time. I can't change history.
Well, that's... Let's say you can, but so far you're answering exactly the way that you need to. The rest of your group needs to listen. Who you are in time, and that's a very Federation approach to everything. Don't believe the mean doctor. She said something similar, but the eyes, they lie. Your eyes, and he leans closer and looks in. Your eyes are crowded. Got the right.
Thank you.
Huh. Let's watch, shall we?
Okay.
I want to show you something. So, as you're looking, you see the treatment comes in and the doctors come and go. And you see a human doctor, probably ex-military, hair done up, straightness to her back, comes in and smooths out your hair. There. Let me give you something. And you feel a hypo against your neck, even though you're not lying in bed. Shh. And the doctor walks out. With a snap of his fingers, Q freezes the scene as the doctor's leaving. That isn't a doctor, Amat.
My doctor is Cardassian.
That one looks like a human. Let's watch it again.
Okay.
And you see,
Mysteries.
you see, there. Hand rubs the hair. She turns, straightens her outfit, and walks out. Why do you think she did that? She's not a doctor. Your doctor's Cardassian.
Yeah, my doctor's Cardassian.
I find it very strange.
Yeah.
Who do you think you get back in Starfleet? It wasn't your parents. They didn't want you to go back after this terrible thing. Who do you think?
I just filled out the application.
But then you got assigned to the bridge of the Reliant, piloting a craft. After all of this, I'm not in Starfleet, but how do you think that happened?
I don't know. I've never gotten a job on my own before. I thought that was normal.
And here's the other 10 retweets. It's almost as if you have some type of patron. Someone that's put you on the Reliant.
Well, that seems strange. I don't think so.
He kneels, eyes narrow as he looks in again. You have crowded, busy eyes.
I'm gonna go. Can I look at this over here? I'm gonna look at this.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Hey, I will. Just touch anything you want. This is the past, so Who knows what'll happen?
Ah!
Amat stares at the wall and touches nothing.
There is a flash as we leave the area. And we go across time and space to the city of London. There is a birth occurring here in the City of Kings. Only this birth is of a extraterrestrial variety, at least extraterrestrial for the past couple hundred years. A Vulcan is being born. Takura is being born. Takura, you are standing beside Q. Q has a mask on as if he is a doctor. What do you think's going on here? Is it you?
And Takura's just staring.
You seem awful alone in here.
Why have
And
you
you
brought me here?
To see your birth. I think you should be happy about that. Who gets to see that? No one, you say. That's right, unless somebody has put it on. Do you have no, not videotape. You've gone past, they did know. Hollow captures. That's what you have now. You have someone I don't see anybody capturing this. You're welcome, Takura.
What is your purpose in bringing me here?
My purpose is this. And Takura, as you look around, this is a nursery of one. As you are in a nice little rolling kind of incubator heated bed, as your small frame is placed without the comforts of a ward of other children, without the comforts of parents. Now, what if I told you, Takura, that your parents just walked out that door for the last time? They just left. Don't believe me? And you see everything wind back. The door opens, and silhouetted against the light in the hallway, you see two figures leaving. And it speeds up again as the doors slide closed. That was them. You are Vulcan, you are logical, so I will ask you this. If you have the chance to go back and ask them why, would you do it?
It is illogical to think on such things.
That's not what I asked. You're
Yes,
also
I would
a
ask
scientist.
him.
You would. And time, the ability to go back, right or wrong. You're a scientist. Think of the lives you could save, the discoveries that could be made. Would you go back and make them soon, as soon as you helped your parents? Maybe go back and keep Amat from getting injured, or prevent what happened on Karina. Acting ensign, Zainul, could still be 14. You're a scientist, Takura. You could control time. You could ask them why. Would you
As a
do it?
scientist, it is my duty to observe, but not to meddle. Asking
not a
my
Federation
parents why. Excuse me?
Scientists make discoveries. If scientists only observed, there would be no advancements. Look at me! I'm a result of science. No, I'm more like magic, but, well, it's a combination. It's too beyond you. But you, observing? No. You're the scientist that does. You would ask them why. Would
I
you
request
continue
that you take
to
me back. Back to the ship.
I guess it's my turn. Why?
I would... Take me back to the ship.
You're having an emotional response. This isn't logical.
I am not having an emotional response. I request that you take me back to the Reliant.
I will. In just one moment. And the door opens again. And a doctor wearing a white lab coat comes in. Hair done up. You think that there's a military bearing to the way that she's walking, her back very straight. She walks over to the crib and looks down. Takes her hand, smooths the tufts of hair along your Vulcan brow. There. Produces a hypo and sprays it into your thigh. Walks out, and as she's going, time freezes. Q looks at you. That wasn't a doctor. Did you know that? Of course you didn't. This is the first time we've ever seen. This is day one, Takora. What did she do?
Who was that? I demand that you tell me.
That's the question of the hour. You're the first to ask. She's your real enemy. And guess what she's using to win?
I do not believe this ever happened. You are showing me some kind of fabrication.
He walks over to the crib. Forgive me. And you see he takes just a pinch of that fine tuft right on your brow that was just there. And you see it turn from a strange, almost gray, colorless, faded black to pure white. Do you have a mirror?
There is one back on the Reliant.
And logically speaking, you must check and see if I'm right or wrong. Maybe I'll come back and tell you. You asked. It wasn't politely. You blue shirts are really mean. Logically and illogically, emotionally, just mean. Ahmad's nice. The other one. Oh my god, the other one. And he flashes and goes back to Nat. Nat, you're sitting there forcing against as you see time moving, just like a sand drop. I apologize as Q flashes back. I got caught up in, there was a lot of monologuing, and then that's on me. That's on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You were just about to unfreeze me.
No.
Yes.
Wait, what would you do if your parents, mom?
No.
I can see. What would you do if I let the captain die?
Nothing good with my life.
Well, it seems rather final.
Saving him was the only worthwhile thing I've done. I want to save him.
You, I believe. We could watch this. But I don't want to watch this. I want to see you do it again. I'll even help. But I need you to believe me, Nat. You are walking in a place. You are against an enemy that could ruin everything. Most notably, my yard.
So I'll be your groundskeeper?
Yes! Yes! My groundskeeper! Ah. Fabulous. Let's do this. You know where he's coming up right there.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Let me stretch. Hold on. All right. Yahtzee! And
Watch and learn.
everything starts moving, and I will step back from narration to allow you, Lauren, to tell us what happens as you and the captain are walking along.
We had, I don't know, we were doing some routine. We had picked up people from a stranded vessel, and Nat didn't trust them, though both the captain and Kalara were not as skeptical. And she just got a whiff of something as the turbo lift door opened, and one of them came in with some kind of weapon, aimed at the captain, and Nat flew in front of him from her station, getting hit, much like she did on the Hamilton. People started moving, but the adrenaline or something, she just tumbled out of it and did everything she could to jump on top of the guy and wrestle him to the ground. She was bleeding. People were screaming, alarms were going off. But she's never been happier since that moment.
And that's exactly as it plays out. As Q watches these heroics, you were a beat behind and quickly caught up after Q released you. You knew what was coming, so the time was made up. Everything exactly as it had been before. And you are sitting there bleeding, hurt, injured. And this was aboard the Reliant, correct, where this happened? Or
Mm-hmm. And
so
she's smiling while she bleeds.
With a, you are in your quarters. You have been treated by T. You have been sent there to recuperate outside of Med Bay. The medical alert lines have been established on the panels over your bed. It was a luxury afforded to someone that saved the life of their captain. Something perhaps that you didn't know, just outside the door, resting against the wall, is Captain Yates. He stands there for hours, answering questions as people come by to ask him about the general orders for the Reliant, but he maintains a post outside your door. He uses his core pad, he uses his tricorder. He sets up a shop there as he waits. It's hours later that he is called off to the side, and you see him walk down the hall a bit, going off to get food or perhaps bring you some. You don't know because you never see him return. And the reason why you can see all of this is because you are also in the hallway with Q. It was fantastic. You could teach me that, right? You could teach me how to jump and bleed.
Maybe.
I'll take that as a hard yes. Okay. Hey, let's go inside, shall we? And you go inside your room and you see yourself asleep on the bed. Ooh. Congrats again. Great job. And your door opens. and a human woman wearing a white jacket with pulled back hair. There's an air of the military about her, ramrod straight back. She walks in, sees you sedated and resting, presses back your hair. There. The hypo sprays into your neck. Q whispers directly into your left ear. That's not a doctor.
What is it?
You asked the question too. And you said it. Ooh,
Ding, ding, ding.
That's your enemy. And now I must ask you, have you ever seen, and he freezes just as she's walking by you to get to the door of your small quarters, have you ever seen her before in your life?
I walk up to her.
In your time aboard the Reliant, you have never seen anybody, either passenger or crew, that resembles this woman.
No.
Who do you think it is?
It looks human, but I assume that's to pass unobserved. The other things looked human.
You're putting two and two together. I like you again. The blue shirts, you can keep them. Everyone else, all right in Q's book. So, how do you think this is your enemy? Now, what are they using to beat you?
Well, you seem concerned with time.
That's it! It's time! Yes! A snap, and you're all back in the transporter room on Reliant. She got it. It's time.
Nat moves immediately towards Yates and kind of sits in the chair next to him and like rests her forehead on his hands.
It's with presence of these red-shirted captains. This one's hairier than Picard, but still thinking about the beard. We'll see. So, you all have your excuses to go back and correct the sins and the wrongs and the tragedies of the past. And as you all have seen, and as your friend has guessed, someone is already doing that to you. Using time. I will let you know. The time will come when you too could do that. And I need to know if you're going to do it or if you're going to pass on Q's grass.
My guess is you would prefer the former.
Yes, that's 3 for you.
I'm proud of me too, frankly.
I'm loving it.
T's immediately scanning herself right now. If she can, she sort of ignored what is going on and is scanning herself.
You're not going to find it. It's already a part of you by this time.
Find
all
what?
the
Doctor?
Why can't I find it? Just because it's a part of me, or there's got to be some indication?
Every scan that you've ever had has contained that little extra. It's always been a part of you as far as these records are concerned.
Well, now what?
Well, now I need to let you go on and make your choice. I don't like it, but time is time. Let me level with you. The Continuum is not happy with the amount of time usage in this backwater place. If you four start doing it too, you're going to ruin all of my fun. They're going to come in here and make me do things, and there'll be no more dancing with Picard. And I have all of that fun with Janeway to look forward to. I mean, I like my job. I'm lucky like that. I mean, there are people that don't like their job and they feel like it's work, and I don't. I've never worked a day in my life. So, can I count on your support not to use time so I can still have fun?
Q. Let me make sure I have this straight. If the others have had a similar experience to my own, we have been taken to a point in our past, told that we might redeem something, change something, told that we could do so. And now you are saying we must not.
I'd view it as a personal favor if you didn't.
Then why, in the first place, did you show us?
Well, that's part of the game, Takura. You have to know what you're saying no to. Where's the fun in blindly following a benevolent deity?
I feel like he has a point.
Question. She said
Yes.
it from still her like lying down position. And what is their aim?
Don't like to admit this. They've gotten a little farther on the lawn than we would like. We don't know.
Do they have a name?
We don't know.
What keeps you from popping in with them?
We can't.
Why?
Well, if I brought it up with the Continuum, they're going to send other people here. This is my dance space. That is their dance space. I do quite well here. I just need to make sure that this is my lawn. Stay off it. They're digging divots and playing golf and, putting in a septic system. It's not good.
Terrible. You won't be able to flush paper or anything.
That's what I told them, but anyway.
And it's like, why even have it?
Please
Exactly.
don't
Have a
flush
way.
paper on the Reliant.
Cubes. Cheese cubes.
All right. So that's, I'm assuming, why you didn't offer us the chance to not get stuck with something.
You're going to have the choice. If you take it, I'm going to give you this one. I can't stop you because you'll be like them. But that means that a lot more of me are going to show up. And they can cause all kinds of problems, and they're stuffy, and they have rules, and they do things by the book, and it's awful.
Oh, I get the sense that Khan would not like that.
Khan has been completely silent.
Like,
Like,
who the hell is this?
It's like when you hit like a police roadblock and your friend like goes all the way back in the passenger seat. Like,
Yeah. I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not here. Good.
We're just in town. Quick, get back.
Okay. Well, could you tell us at least the effects this whatever they're doing to us is having? Or will have?
Again, we don't know what their end aim is.
Come on.
Listen, if I bring in everybody, it makes me look bad. There, I've said it. I'm doing my best. Listen, most of the time I have maracas and a sombrero. This is like legwork. I'm looking around. I'm finding stuff. If I find anything, I'll get you a message somehow.
I'm proud of you for, stretching outside of your comfort zone.
See? Nice. You're back on the list, gold shirt. All right. So, you're going to be given the choice. And the only reason that we could figure out that they were even around is because you're the only four they...
Right.
I figured that out.
I did too.
Well, but I showed you and that's how you figured it out.
Yes, teamwork.
That's right. And I'm the team captain. And so what I will tell you is the more that I find out, I will pass it on to you. You will do the right thing that makes me look good and then carry on. Sound good? Let's go team. And he puts his hand in the middle of your group.
Yeah.
We got a lot in here.
Nat will reach from her position with her head down. She is not taking her head up yet, but she'll reach back.
Gold shirts in. Oh, it's just the blue ones. Come on, prove me wrong, blue ones. Get in here.
I have no intention of acting like a juvenile.
That's her way of saying she's in.
That certainly is not.
It could be.
Oh. What about you, Doctor? You can save the entire blue shirt division by showing some teamwork.
She just sort of stares at you, looks at all of you. No.
That was a big morale booster that we lost it right there. I could feel it slip away.
I feel it too. And Nat's head like shoots up as she looks over at T, finally paying attention to whatever T is putting out.
Yeah, T's not looking at Nat at all. She will not stop staring at Q.
I guess we're just gonna have to let this play out then. Boy, I don't like that. I like to read the last page of the book, if I read.
Aww.
Yeah. All right, so you all have this thing down on this planet to do. Go ahead and do that. Look around, though. I shouldn't say anything. Just keep your eyes open when you're down there. Do you know what a gravity well is? Of course you do, with gravity.
Then why did
Yes,
you
we are
ask?
all very familiar.
He likes to
Yes,
hear
we are.
himself talk where we're supporting him.
Oh, yeah.
Gravity wells are sort of like the little singularities which deal with this is where you can answer.
Volume.
It starts with a T.
I said it. I literally just said it.
I didn't hear you.
I mumble and she puts her head back down.
Hey, what's time?
Oh.
It's supposed to be dramatic.
Well, why is it called gravity then? Oh, never mind. No,
Gravity
please
can
go
do a
on.
bunch of different things. And you see behind him a chalkboard.
Oh.
Chalkboard, and he has a long stick. And as you can
here we
see,
go.
right here, with the gravity acting as a vacuum here for time and subspace, really.
God.
And as the subspace begins to shift, you can do all kinds of things with it. You can create a warp field or a warp bubble around the Reliant. You can, if you wanted to be a Romulan and have I can't tell you how to do that, but you can put up a screen around it. No one can see you. And so gravity can do quite a bit. And that's what we've learned today here.
Wait, what?
Eyes glazed over.
Wait, if you wanted to be a Romulan, you could put a singularity something around you and you would. I like you, Q. I like you. I like you.
Off the list again. You were paying attention long enough to hear me sneak that in.
How could you? No, he just talked so much and it was a lot. Not that that's bad, I just wasn't paying attention.
Listen, we are here on the Scratticus Academy. Everyone, this is a class that right, that's 4 dimensions. Yes, we're in space, we're in the Federation, blah, blah, blah. We're not in the Academy.
So,
Basically.
so we could. That's great. That's great.
So I'm going
I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
I'm going to leave now. You all have to get to what you're doing. If I learn anything, and just pretend like you don't understand, because you don't. If the Academy gets 10 retweets from now on, instead of a data package, it'll be a Q package. But that's what's going to happen from this point forward. But there is no such thing as the Scratticus Academy that's watching us right now.
Ensign Ball has a question.
I have 2 questions now.
Ask the first one first.
Number 1, what if we don't really want a Q package?
They're exchangeable. I'll put a gift in them.
Well, thank you. That is so thoughtful. Not enough people do that. Okay, and number 2, can you just if you get him, can you just whisper it to me and Nat? You don't have to tell the blue shirts. I'll just
I
tell
can
them
hear
later.
you perfectly well, Ensign.
Oh, see why we have to whisper.
And T just touches her head and looks at Nat.
Q, are you telepathic?
Of course not. That's witchcraft.
I don't know if that's sarcasm because I haven't known you long enough.
I will tell you this, that the Betazoids can, it's where we got a little from the Vulcan. This is a wave of sarcasm that is lactic splashing over.
Nat snorts.
Ew.
She's just having a great time.
What a delightful day.
Are you quite done with your show?
Yes, I am. But before we go, somebody from the Academy, their name is Will Knight. You don't believe any of this. We are changing it from a data package to a Q package to a Q-tip. You will get a Q-tip with 10 retweets because that is fantastic. And 4th dimensional student, A+ today.
Thanks, I hate it.
I love it. I love it so much.
Guillermo, I'm so mad.
I'm having the best day.
He will walk over in the area of Takura. My money's on you.
I would hate to disappoint you.
You won't. And he turns, bows. There is the sound of like a spicy Cuban beat as it fires up, and he just kind of shimmies his way back, and he goes, ah! And then there's a flash of white, and he's gone, and the Reliant begins to move again. And if I could get 2 more minutes of your time, everybody, Q will go away, and unfortunately, Greg will return. I ask only because I can barely hear with this thing on. Right? Welcome back, Academy. I can hear apparently now, and thank you to Isreaver for getting in. That is the perfect time to have Q come in and provide the information that Q gave to everyone, because that really helps us here in the second leg of the season. So I can't wait. So you all, as the flash goes off and Q disappears, you look around, you're all back in the same form of prosthetics or holograms or holographic assistants, surgery, whatever you've gone through. You all look like you're ready to go down on the planet.
Nat sits bolt upright from the position that she was in last and like stands up at attention.
Yeah, as soon as you bolt upright, you see Yates kind of look and just nod and doesn't see anything as being different. You do notice that if you have a personal, like your tricorder or even your communicator, the time is still the same as it was before the incident. There's no time discrepancies like you noticed when you were in the Karina system. So it seems as if whatever happened in the beats between seconds for you all. Chief Willow, Akana, you all want to go? It's going to be a long beam, so it'll take a little bit longer than normal, but I got you all locked in. They have pads on the other end, so I'll be able to, I have you.
I feel we should make a report.
Yes.
The chief's like, but I have you. Don't.
We need
completely
to...
missed.
No, we have to speak to the captain before we go.
What's the matter? Yep. Come walk with me.
Uh-huh.
And he goes over to the nearest, just like utility room, opens it up, and ushers you all in. And it's almost like smoking in like you guys are a little too close in here. And he just immediately realizes it's odd. What's going on?
We just had an experience with someone from the Q continuum.
What?
We just had an experience with someone from the Q continuum, sir.
His eyes leave Nat and go to T's.
Exactly what happened.
Takura. He looks.
Yes.
Finally turns to Amat. Ensign?
Amat's gonna do a quick check and just be like, huh? Do you think I should say yes?
Yes, there's no point. Go ahead.
Yep.
Well, why you four? Was there anyone else?
No, sir. Something to do with, this is fun to explain. Sabotage, infiltration, but in the past. At least one aboard this ship. With the creatures we encountered from Karina 7 who weren't human and who weren't Romulan, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is Butler Yates is not going to just allow you. Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and beam down. We're going to cut to like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
As you all have given any information. If there's anything you don't want to tell the captain, you can either whisper it to me or let me know. But assuming everything is delivered, I will just... we won't have to RP you explaining it to him. Of course, he asks, so what do you mean? And my God, and there's a bunch of that. And then you all give your information, and 2.5 hours later, he's basically sitting at the end of the same table that you received your initial orders, kind of head on fist. Q.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the 17th time.
Yep.
All right. Are you all fit to continue? Are you fit for duty?
I mean, it would be... I don't think we can find whatever has been done to us, so, sir, I don't know if we are actually.
All right. I need full updates on mental state then. And T, if you would go down to medbay, I want everyone checked out. We can't, I'm not sending you into the field if there's even the possibility that something's gone on or this thing has done something to 4 of my crew members. Let the doctor help you. The doctor is going to check you out, T. You're going to have to activate him.
Okay, let's get this done quick.
Okay, so you go down there, and Dr. H is waiting.
Before we go down, Takora will say, Captain, a word.
And the rest of you leave.
Nat's waiting outside the door.
He's such a popular captain.
The door is open, but if Takora gives the word, he can trigger something on the desk and it'll slide shut.
Yeah, she'll sort of like make a gesture to suggest.
Nat, you would see the door.
She has her hands behind her back and she sort of walks over to the window where you can see the stars and says, Captain, I request to be relieved of my position as the acting XO of this ship.
Reason?
I have become emotionally compromised.
Denied. Go down to medbay.
Captain.
Acting first officer.
I ask you to reconsider.
Denied. He walks forward. You'll get to know me, Takora. You telling me that you're emotionally compromised makes me trust you more. Makes me believe in you more. Though you think it's a weakness and that the Vulcans believe that emotions cloud the logical mind, I see it quite differently. There is a horizon. There is a sunset for every sunrise. I'm not asking you to change the beliefs and the paths of your people. Emotionally compromised? I'll take that every day of the week. Get down to medbay.
She just leaves.
Wish Captain Yates was my dad. I like my dad okay, but
He doesn't have
I could always have a second dad.
You can have as many dads as you want. All Nat does, after seeing Takora leave, she's about to say something to her, but does not, seeing whatever's going on. She pokes her head around and just looks at the captain, like making sure that he's still there. And then nods. Yeah. Like, she's not gonna get his attention or anything, like whatever he's doing. Just nods to herself and then like runs if she thinks he's gonna turn around.
No, he's busy doing captain-y things. I'm assuming you're being subtle about all this.
Yeah.
And
No,
even
it's full on Scooby-Doo.
Right. I you know, even if he would turn around, you're Nat, you know. You jumped in front of a death shot for him. You get a bit of leeway, even if he does catch you doing the Scooby-Doo. So.
Yeah, she'll turn and nod to herself like everything's okay and go join the others, catching up with Takora.
Okay. So as you get on, it's only a 4-person pad. There's also an inanimate pad that you can put supplies and cargo and things like that. You all don't have any. You have all been given implants. As you went through the med bay, the doctor gave you a subdermal implant in lieu of your communication device. This subdermal implant, if you get into trouble, and again, this is all prime directive based, instead of tapping or having your communicator visible, that could again compromise the natural progression of a society. The subdermal implant, while you can't talk to Reliant or each other with it, if you trigger it, it causes an immediate beam out. So if there's an emergency, that's the way to get off of planet with as little contamination as possible. Beyond that, you are equipped with smaller phase 1 phasers, or type 1 phasers. So you have like the little garage remote control. Those also have a surge feature in them. If you are compromised, you have to trigger the surge and it will burn up the phaser. T, you have your medical apparati, you have your tricorder and all your hypos, but they are required to stay in the Federation facility before or if you go out among the people of Kalmar.
So we're going to the facility first. That's where we're beaming into, right?
Right, you're doing a long-range beam into the facility. If you have to trigger this thing, it will be a beam back site to site from the facility on ground. So you won't be beaming back to Reliant. You'll be beaming back, and then presumably if you need to go to Reliant from the pad there, Reliant's going to be really far away to avoid detection.
Yeah.
Okay. Willow's just looking at you all as you step onto the pad.
Nat looks at Takora for the go ahead.
Acting first officer?
And that's the right word, right?
Yes.
I got it right this time, right?
Yes, you nailed it.
So as the levels go up, everybody disappears, and it, as promised by the chief, it's a long, they say you don't remember it, but if you've done it enough times, you realize that the process and the glow is about 2-3 times as long as it normally is. And as you appear on these 4 corresponding pads down in the facility, you see that there is someone dressed as a civilian, a human, looks like a human doctor, him, behind the control panel of the teleporter, bringing you in, and he has an odd look on his face for a second as he works, and then you turn around, the 4 of you see everybody, and he's immediately touching an earpiece as he quickly triggers, and you hear the speaker come on, and you hear Chief Willow Akana say, "Are you all right?"
Yeah.
We're all here safely.
And he starts to scan people, just checking, thinking she's
Was there a problem, Chief Akana?
And you hear her, I had, there was strange interference. We shouldn't have had a cross signal, but it felt like for a moment, it felt like there were 5 of you.
We must be mistaken.
Good. Okay, well, Godspeed. And you hear Chief Akano out.
I don't know that we should dismiss disparities so easily, considering whatever these creatures are.
I think that's right. I mean, we didn't know about, things that have come to light lately. but maybe we shouldn't ignore this. I'm starting to think everything happens for a reason.
Perhaps we could ask Okana to run a diagnostic.
Sounds sensible.
Nat kind of steps closer to Cora and it's like trying to be subtle. Are you all right?
I believe so.
Aye.
You hear in your head.
Hmm?
You hear in your head just, she's lying.
Right.
Should I contact Chief O'Connor?
I can do it if you'd like. I'll do it.
It's your idea.
Yep. Great. Cool. Sweet. Oh wait, no. This. What is it? This.
Oh no! Don't
That's-
touch that.
No.
No. You're.
That's yeah. You'd have to use the
Copy.
communicator that's on the pad there. That the
Okay.
gentleman-
Oh, you said that's right. The speaker. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, you're able to tell. And Chief Okano, absolutely. Yeah, I'm already onto it, Lieutenant.
You know what? Just because the ship has Scout done a full diagnostic on the ship, in particular for
Yes.
tachyons.
We're a little bit drenched with them, but they're working their way out. The metal isn't compromised. You would have learned all of this
Right.
from Scout. Scout ran a
Right.
full diagnostic on everything, but the Reliant was
Okay.
running with her shields up for most of the time. So,
Right. So, right. Great. Good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh. Great. Uh-huh. Okay, thank you.
theories
Thanks,
abound. Yep. So, yeah, Chief Okano will run a transporter diagnostic. I will give you the results of those next week.
Cool.
I'm going to take Chief a little bit to do something. As you are all waiting there, you see a Vulcan, she, her, walking through the area. She steps forward and has the Takora would recognize the Vulcan Science Academy outfit, the science directorate, and she raises an eyebrow. Well met. I am Tazine. I believe you are here to help us with our problem.
I am Takora. Yes, we have been sent here from the Reliant.
Very good. Right this way, and please don't touch anything. We have everything arranged according to cultural benefit. And she begins to lead you through the area.
That won't be a problem, will it, Ensign?
Apparently, it's going to be a terrible problem.
Ensign's gonna be fine.
So, as you are all,
We good. We good.
as you're all going through there, I was whispered something a few minutes ago, and I will go ahead and answer it now. Amat, as you are walking through this area, you look down and you see that whatever, you're not sure, but there are maybe 24 blue discs that seem to be transparent. They seem to have something floating in the middle of them, and they are arranged beside what looks like a you would guess it's a harness of some kind. It looks too broad and big to be a belt, but I mean, it could be. You're not sure what the style is, but these blue discs are almost iridescent as they move and ripple with your proximity and position and perspective.
Touch it.
Are you going to touch it or are you going to take one?
I'm gonna take one.
And do we see?
I will need, and
Do I get
please.
Since it's dangerous.
No. And
Oh, okay.
to aid in all of this too, I would like you to do. This is going to be a fitness and a security for Amat, and you may use your new talent if you would like, and your new value if you would like.
That is 100% a trap, so I will. I'll just do the fitness and security. Thank you.
Yes. TK. Yes.
Yes. It's like,
My own heart.
mm,
That sounds like a trap.
I don't
Like
think
jumping
so,
down
no.
the turbo lift shaft.
I just agreed that it would be fun. I didn't say for
It-
who.
Fun
would
until
be-
you die.
So super fun. So you said fitness and security. I'm gonna take it.
You won't kill it. Get
I'm gonna do it.
Do
But I'm
it.
not gonna use my new talent just because like I don't know how much threat we have right now. So how much?
Well, you have the other one that doesn't cause threat. You have.
What do I have that doesn't cost threat? What? No,
You
I
have.
don't.
Yeah. Well, let's.
Wait,
I
no.
wanna,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me see. I put on the one.
Oh, good. One causes threat. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, you said my new value, and I don't think I took any new values.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. This one would just be 2.
It would just be a little threat. How much threat do we have right now?
None.
None.
Oh, well, I mean, no, I'm kidding.
You guys on our side, Greg.
Yeah, not over touching a thing. That's fine. Ask me when like we're crashing into something.
Smart. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I want to take it.
Okay. So you're able to reach out and with your prosthetic, you sweep it. You have it in your hand. You can take it with you if you'd like. And in your mind, you hear, "Oh, Amat, we will need that. We will need that.
Oh, did I do a good?
You did a great,
Oh,
my
Yeah.
friend."
thanks. That's in my head.
Right.
Not out loud anymore. I learned in those 2 weeks. And I'm not just like, bloop.
But, like, do we see them do this? After the Vulcan just said, "Don't touch."
Yeah, I will let anybody that wants to. You can roll an observation roll. Let's just go straight with. I want just insight here. Insight and security.
Okay.
Did Amat actually do a bad?
So I have all my things. I have a focus, and the difficulty is less for me.
Dang it. Oh no! It's just like as everybody just stares at Amat when the Volk is like, "Don't touch anything," and Amat just like makes eye contact with everyone and picks something up and puts it in their pocket.
What, just as Takora was like, "That won't be a problem, will it, Ensign?" And you're like, "No."
Can I take this? Is this okay? I'm just gonna put it in my pocket. That's fine.
Ensign,
I mean, put it on the ground.
put it back exactly where you found it.
Okay. Just like puts it back.
Nat's like, her eyes are so huge right now.
Takora like goes up to Amat.
Oh.
If you require restraining, it can be arranged. If you just said something, I missed it, because...
Oh. No, Amat says, "No, I'm okay."
I suggest that you no longer take the rear. We need someone to keep an eye on you, obviously, as you cannot be trusted with even the simplest of commands.
That's fair, actually. Namat says, yes, ma'am.
I volunteer.
Now, will
Amat,
you be
as you
doing this again, Amat?
No, ma'am.
Nat messages. Tina's like, I think that's her angry mom voice.
Takora reminds Amat so much of Amat's mom. Who was also an EXO.
Oh shit!
Wait, I'm only an acting EXO.
That's right. Don't get it twisted.
Sorry.
Nat moves right by Amat's side.
Amat, as you take your new position in the front, you hear in your mind, "Do not worry, I got one." And you feel that there is a blue disc in the fold of your pocket that was picked up with the prosthetic hand. And that is where we will end this session of Perfection Shadow.
Furious typing.
Hey, I always love hearing like the... And I'll hand it over to Alice.
Hi. Yeah, that was so good, and I just want to say I think Greg actually is Q. I'm just saying. But we will hop round and say hello to everyone and where we can find you and what your favorite bit was. So let's start with Ellie.
Hi everyone! I've been Takora, friendly neighborhood Vulcan science officer. I'm actually nice in real life, I swear. So you can find me on the Twitters. I am at _Kempester, CEMPSTRE. I play here with these beautiful people, obviously. Fridays, Perfection Shadow. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. EST, I am on the Greyhawk channel in Mordenkainen's Path of the Plains, where I play a very stabby, moody teenage rogue. I also have a podcast called Monster Crush. We just dropped our Valentine's Day special. It's absolutely hilarious. Be prepared for bad language and laughs. And I think that's about it.
Did you have a favorite
Did I forget
bit?
anything? No. Because it's all my favorite bit. I liked it when I was laughing. I liked it when I was nearly crying. I liked it when I was shouting. Yeah, I liked it all because you guys are the absolute best. So, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And then we're gonna hop down to Lauren.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi. I'm Lauren. I'm having a great day. I'm That Salty Ginger over on Twitter. I play games around the internet with my friends here at the Scratticus Academy on Mondays and Fridays, and Off the Table on Tuesdays and every other Friday. And I'm part of the team at Tales from the Grim, and we have a lot of cool stuff going there. Greg is part of that, and Jonathan Fry, and Kiana, and Allison, and it's awesome. That's my family. And I run a game on there on Monday nights at 9 Eastern, set in the Lady Blackbird system, called Wild Blue Yonder. It's a super fun time because apparently I really like space. And I play in a Pulp Cthulhu game on Sunday nights at 7 Eastern. Our keeper's Allison Robinson. It's in 1942. Pulp Cthulhu is the best. And yes, you should check that out because I've been told there might be smooching. At least Lindy and I are gonna make it happen. Oh, and my favorite part was also the whole thing. The whole thing. Except Khan being full of shit. Except that part.
Thank you. We now have 2 space warlocks, I think. But I'm gonna hop over now to TK. Hi.
It's me. It's TK. Your space warlock. One of your now 2 space warlocks. Pew, pew, pew. I do like that somebody said that I should be allowed to have con trips. Thanks, Guillermo. I know it was you. At least I'll give you credit. I write spooky stories on the internet, and if you like spooky stories, then you can read them at tkjwrites.com, or you can follow me on Twitter. TK joins the fray. I'm doing a lot of following Black creators for Black History Month in the TTRPG community on my Twitter. So if that's something that you like, then you can follow that as well, and it's fun. And if you don't like it, I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. If you like spooky games, then you can watch me on the Wizards Twitch tonight, and I'll be DMing Tales from the Mists, which is a Ravenloft game, and it's cool, and we fight wolves, and it's great, and my friends cry, and that's my favorite part, because I like making people cry. Buy my book. Thank you.
Oh, last and certainly not least, Greg.
Oh, I had a blast. Thank you very much, Academy, for the fantastic donation support puns. It was a really great, Is Reaver, especially for bringing out Q. Like I said, perfect time to do it, because now the party is armed with the information that they need to take the next step, and they know what to look for. Had they gone into this next mission not knowing what to look for, it would have been tough, because they would have looked back on it and realized a few things had been missed. Potentially. But it was great. It was super fun. I'll do this real quick. Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the team from Tales from the Grim over on the Twitch. A lot of really fun things coming up, specific to what we have here on the Academy. Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, is our first narrative episode of Highlander If on a Winter's Night. It is Cypher System. It will be the origin of our de facto heroine. We have Sarah McLeod, played by Just a Summer Job, and Summer's coming in to show us how the first immortal that we will meet was killed and reborn as one of the Eternal. Then we will go on and we will have Alice come in, display her immortal, Jonathan Pruitt, Tall Squall, Bird versus Plane. We've got Trendane coming in as our big bad. It is a super fun cast. I cannot wait to see the stories that are told. It is an absolute collaborative narrative, so I will be just as surprised as everybody else when we learn as we play and see how things are going. Now, that's all great. We've got Project Hyperion, Lady Blackbird coming up on Monday. Next Wednesday, May Black Roses Bloom. And then next Thursday, Dungeons and Mad Mage. But that's there. Go over, join me on Twitter. You can find all that stuff out. We've seen Q. So we have an empty spot now, sort of, at the bottom of our donation table. And so next week when you show up, there will be a new donation plate there. And I'm going to tell you, you might try it, but if you look at it and try to look away, resistance is futile. Until next week.
Okay. I want to say this is, I love this game so much. Again, I love all of this game. I can't really pick, but if I had to really pick a bit, is that I'm so happy Greg finally got to wear that outfit, because I think everyone needed to see that. That's, yeah. But otherwise, I'm White Rabbit Pig. That's where you can find me on Twitter. I do photography and stuff that you can go check out. Otherwise, I am a DM and a player on this channel every single day of the week. And when I'm not here, I am over on Tales from the Grim. So please go and check them out. They've got some really awesome stuff coming up. I'm so excited for Highlander, and I'm a little bit in love with Lady Blackbird. So we have a Discord. You should be in it. It's really awesome. If you want to go and talk about Star Trek and this game and all of its amazing people that are playing in it, please go and head over to the little chat room just for them. If you want to get into a game, head over to Twitter and drop Scrat a DM as we start organising all the viewer games for Season 3. We have a Patreon, which is one way you can support us, and you can also see some free articles on there written by our very lovely Renee.
Alice, come back. Alice, come back.
You came back and trapped her. She's in a
Oh
flashback.
no, she's
Have
frozen.
Am I gone?
Now you're
am I
back.
again yet? Okay. I don't know where I got to, but anyway, we have some awesome sponsors. Go and check out Bird in the Storm. They write modules, and there's a really good one over there which we played over Christmas, and you can also see their merch over there, and also Mage Hand Press that creates D&D 5e basically in space. It's awesome. It's really good fun. But other than that, we are going to go and raid Bird versus Plane because we love Bird, and we're going to go and send a load of love over there. So until next Friday, which I'm already very, very eager for, I need now, we will see you later. Keep evoking emotions, guys. We'll see you in a couple of hours. Bye.